Hey, welcome back to World Entertainment, and this is going to be the review for not one, not two, but the first 3 episodes of Andor Season 2, which is now out. I reviewed the first season. I didn't particularly like the first season. It was very slow, very boring, really went nowhere. The performances were good, and the effects in the world were good. This time around, much better. Actually, much better. I actually enjoyed these first 3 episodes. They're not without issues, but they are much better. They keep the story going, they move it forward, and they move it at a good, decent pace this time around, compared to the first season where everything was just a slog to get through. This one very quickly moves forward. Now, the first episode so far is the only episode that had Krennic in it. He's only in it for a few minutes, but he's in there and he's establishing this planet Gorman or something like that produces silk or something, but the Empire wants to mine it because it's got a mineral in the surface of the planet that they need for the Death Star. You're not told it's for the Death Star, but you're told to crystallize the mirrors or something, or the reflectors of the weapon, meaning Death Star. So the mining they have to do could possibly destroy the planet. That it would make the planet's core unstable. And it's interesting because we actually see new elements of the Empire, how they're operating, how they push propaganda on places. They got 2 guys there who basically make up stories to push propaganda for the Empire. But we also get an Imperial officer who is kind of against the idea of killing or letting the inhabitants of this planet die. He's like really kind of, could we not just relocate them and stuff like that? It was interesting, and there was no real pushback to him to saying like, oh, you're getting softer. And it was kind of like, nah, we tried that and there's not enough time to do that and all that type of stuff. So the kind of world building with the Empire is more interesting this time around. Cassian is on a mission to steal a TIE fighter, this new prototype TIE fighter. Now, I'm assuming it is a prototype of some sort, but it's this new version that we've never seen before and we will never see again. So it does seem to be this one-off ship. It looks from the front, when you first see it, you think it's a TIE Interceptor, but it's not. The wings go back other way. The whole story is him trying to get that, to get off planet, to go and give it to Luthen, who is Skarsgård. And while all that's happening, he's out there trying to steal this ship. Well, he does steal it. Mon Mothma is getting ready for her daughter's wedding, which of course the wedding was to get her power basically for our funding for the rebellion. But one of the other guys is now kind of losing everything and starting to hint that he is going to maybe expose them and stuff. Now, this is all happening across the first 3 episodes. So her story is trying to deal with this wedding where she doesn't really want it to go through, but having to deal with these people interfering and looking like they're going to spoil things for the rebellion. Cassian stealing this ship, and he ends up going to a planet where he's to meet another pilot or something, but the pilot's not there. Apparently he's dead because these other idiots crashed there and are starving. They've been stuck there for 2 days, no food, no water, and Cassian manages to make them kind of turn on each other, and he's held prisoner with them for the majority of the second episode, but he does escape. So he's there, and then we're going to this, it's a farming area where they're with grain, with the girl who was the communications person that was secret communications in the first season, the one who the Empire basically tortured. And there's Empire or Imperial checks now there, and they don't have the visas, so they know they're screwed if Cassian doesn't show up. So those are all the kind of things that are happening. Oh, and the blonde Imperial officer, Deidre or whatever, her and the guy who kind of became a cop in the first season, they're together, and it's kind of weird. Krennic seems to want her to front this mission to mine this planet, and she doesn't really want any part of it. But the rest with her and that guy are basically surrounding his mother. It's a bit weird with that, but it is what it is. So while all that's happening, you're kind of going back and forth. Now, the acting, again, spot on from everyone in this season so far, and these first 3 episodes. The visuals are fantastic and look fantastic. Doesn't seem to be much volume used this time around. There's a couple of shots where you can tell there was probably volume there, but other than that, the visual effects are spot on. The locations are real again and look fantastic. The issues I have, there's a couple of issues. One of which is when Krennic in the first episode is showing them this planet that they're gonna have. He shows like this highlight reel thing. It's like an old, you know when you see war movies and the soldiers or something go to the cinema with their girlfriends before they get deployed, and you get those kind of the propaganda videos where they're like, and Japan has attacked and stuff. It's that type of thing, but it's about them making the clothes that come from this planet, that it comes from spiders and stuff, and it's like, it was really weird. But the other thing that doesn't work and is really out of place and off-putting is the music, particularly at the wedding, because you end up getting like hip-hop kind of music, like actual modern type of music, and it just doesn't fit. It really is weird. The other issue is actually with the wedding, where there are things that are happening kind of around the wedding itself, like with Mothma and stuff like that, that they could have focused more on, but they actually waste time showing you the wedding, such as the couple's first dance. Like something big just happens there, and rather than following that, they go to the whole let's watch the couple's first dance. So there are things like that that don't work, especially the music. The music this time around really does not work. It sticks out like a sore thumb. But between that and the wedding part, it's a bit weird. Mon Mothma in the last episode of episode 3 is pretty much pissed over school dancing. Like, they're all dancing and it's really weird. The other weird thing that you'll notice is there's, in the first 3 episodes, next to no alien life. Now, on the planet that Cassian stuck on, there's one weird alien beastie that you see once. And you'll notice there's 2 guests at the wedding that are like an alien species. Other than that, there's no aliens, which I thought was very interesting. It's like, it's the Star Wars and there's no alien life to be seen. That's really weird. But overall, the 3 first episodes I actually did enjoy. I thought the story was much better than the first season. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, this takes place exactly a year after the first season. So we've time jumped a year, and I believe the next 3 episodes time jump again, and then the next 3 time jump again. I believe they're doing that. So this is set a year after the first season. So overall, the performances still spot on. The effects, the visuals, spot on. The world building, spot on. And I think overall the story, the pacing and stuff, much better this season. So it's off to a good start for me. So let's see where it goes. So with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let us know, by the way, if you've seen it, what do you think of it. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Cheers.